you should be today in America campaigning for Barack Obama. This is my assumption.
Oh, well, you know what? You know, I'm campaigning for Barack Obama because I'm meeting and greeting the people. And in the people in America, you got to understand the people that are going to vote for him, we have got them up, and it's white and black alike. And Martin Luther King's dream, you know, has not been fulfilled. You know what I mean? But we're working on it. We're working very, very hard on it. He says injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And when you talk about people power, we are making the world is coming. I'm giving reports every day back to America as to what the status of the world is and encouraging my brothers and sisters in America to rise up and go over the prejudice and go into something that is solid. Vote for Obama.
What does it mean to you that an Afro-American could be elected next Tuesday as the first black president of the United States? What do you think?
The words of Solomon, I couldn't be in a better place, but the most holiest place for the Jews is to be here to recognize what you just said, which will lift you to a new height. That is what the phenomenon is. Change is in the world. The change is in the world. You know, in Revelation chapter 16, behold, I make all things new. Former things are passed away. So you got change in there, and I'm telling you that what that means is I never thought I would see it in my lifetime. So I've been blessed by God to be able to bear witness if he should be elected, and he should be by any stretch of the imagination, because if he was a white man, it would be a landslide. You know what I mean? Because he's a black man, he has a little ostracism there. He has a little problem there. We got to overcome that problem. And where could you overcome that problem the best? Right here in the Holy Land.
Tell me, as a young man, has you suffered from racial discrimination?
Every black suffers from racial discrimination.
In what way, Mr. King? Give me an example.
Because you are judged by the pigmentation of your skin and the hue of your hair rather than the contents of your heart and your character and what you would do for the betterment of mankind. Your legs is hit, you break your legs, and that's why you limp. They deny you the schools and seminaries where you could go to be educated and say, why are you so dumb? You mean they handicap you, and then they play the word game, semantics, where they could be able to use duplicity. They could do deceitful language to be able to couple you with negative associations. If you don't like the association, you don't like the black. They make it synonymous. Hey.
דון קינג הוא מגיבורי התרבות באמריקה, אפילו הסימפסונים ייחדו לו פרק בסדרה. הוא לא בא לכאן כדי לכפר על חטאי העבר שלו, כמנהגם של פעילים פוליטיים רבים מארצו, גם הוא בא לכותל. לא תמיד תמך קינג במועמד דמוקרטי.
I supported George Walker Bush because I think George Walker Bush is revolutionary. You understand what George Walker Bush did? In 2004, he was the only president out of 43 presidents that made inclusive a valid word and include black people in white America. George Walker Bush had the most diverse cabinet of any president in the history of our country. He had Jews, he had blacks, he had Latins, he had Cubans, you know, that would go into that cabinet. And when he put Colin Powell as the Secretary of State, Condoleezza Rice as the security of the nation, he put two blacks. Here's how I liken him to the black population because they're very religious. I say, just as Moses went to the Pharaoh and said, let my people go. I say, George Bush went to the conservative, to the bigot, to the racist, and said, let my people in. And so performance is what counts in life. No matter what you do, you can be able to perform. Now, what they still had those stereotype images. They're liars, they're cheaters, they can't rise to the occasion, they can't think, you know. So I told the black people, I said, either George Walker Bush has been touched by God or he is totally insane. Because he put two shiftless, worthless blacks as the head of the nation to protect and secure the just and the unjust, the good and the bad. So George Walker Bush was my man. I say, you got two parties. Don't take for granted one party and let George Walker Bush that out there. He's the man that stood up and made things happen. So I love George Walker Bush. He made us include. That made the argument more salient because now we're all a participant. It ain't like one dictating to the other. It's about us talking together to see what we can extricate that would be mutually beneficial to us all. I love George Walker Bush.
But now you change your mind.
No, I'm a Republican. I'm not a Democrat, and I'm not a Republican.
But you're pro-Obama now.
I am not. I'm for whoever's going to be best for America, black and white alike. I'm not in a single of but black. You can do nothing all black. You can do nothing all white. When you see Chopin, you say Chopin. You see Mozart. Beethoven. You have to have the black keys to play the melody. So it'll be lingering over the black and white working together synonymously in music, the ribbon that ties all humanity together, to black and white together.
So whom are you going to vote for now on Tuesday?
I done already voted for Obama, but what I'm doing now is exalting the people to vote for America. Don't vote for Obama. Vote for America. He just incidentally happened to be black. He's an American. And so we must be able to remove that color, as I told you earlier, and say not the pigmentation of the skin or the hue of the hair, but the content of the character of the man and what he means and what he is, the love that he gives and the understanding that he can make. That's what we got to vote for.
ואכן, כמו ברק אובמה לפניו, גם הוא התייחד כאן עם הבורא ותחב פתק אל בין האבנים.
And glory be to the Lord.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I just feel so good with you. You just bring it out. It's great. Shalom, shalom. Tode, what's that? Tode, thank you. Toda.
Beautiful.